Hello to everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I made a real hodgepodge from the Russian winter. I wanted you to feel the atmosphere of the Russian winter. So let's go. First I'll show you a couple of ice towns. We attend them before the New Year, it's kind of a tradition. Then I'll invite you to the Opera Theater. And I'll show you some activities that we like to do before and after the New Year celebration, like sliding down the slopes, ice skating of course, and in the second half of the video I'll invite you to my home and show my Christmas or New Year table, because we don't celebrate Christmas. And this year holidays are quite harsh because several days there will be minus 30 degrees centigrade. But when it's not too cold, we certainly do some activities. Welcome to my home, be my guests. You are the first ones who will see this New Year celebration table. It is not typical this year, because I decided to order a couple of dishes from the restaurant. Just didn't want to cook a lot this year. For the first time, like in 10 years maybe, I decided to order something from a restaurant. But there's one dish that no Russian would imagine celebration of the New Year. It is a Russian salad, or a winter salad as we call it. It consists of some sausages, pickled cucumbers, canned peas, then some potatoes, boiled eggs, hard boiled eggs, and some mayonnaise. And you make kind of mixture, and it is a divine mixture, at least for most Russians. You can try to make it at home. And one thing, I made the tartelettes with red caviar. And I remember one case, it was kind of funny. Long ago I was living in England with a host family, kind of in a host family, for a couple of months. And when I arrived, they asked me, what do I like to eat? What do you like to eat for breakfast? And I thought a little bit and then said, red caviar. They looked at me kind of in a bizarre way, and only later I figured out that they maybe decided it was too arrogant, or I was from a rich family or something. but there is one explanation. Red caviar is a lot cheaper in Russia than I think in most places in the world. For example, now it is a little bit higher, maybe not a little bit, but it is just before the new year, and maybe there were fewer of the salmon. But for example, a can of red caviar might cost something like for good red caviar, $5 or even less. So not not every morning, but sometimes it is quite affordable for every Russian, and it is not possible to imagine a New Year table without caviar in Russia. What else do we do? I'll tell you about typical Russian New Year. Of course, teenagers go away somewhere with their companies, but the rest usually make a table with their favorite dishes: olivier, red caviar, of course, some sausages, and every year for more than 40 years Russians turn on the same movie. It is called The Irony of Fate. It is translated something like this: Ironia судьбы, or Irony of Fate. I'll insert a couple of pictures about it. It was about a guy who is a doctor. He was a doctor. He doesn't drink alcohol, but they had it a tradition to go to a bathhouse with his close friends. And that day they got drunk. He drank like a fish. He was almost unconscious, and a friend of his had to go to St. Petersburg. They were drinking in Moscow, so he was carried absolutely unconscious. He was missed. The whole drunken company decided that it was him who was meant to fly to St. Petersburg. So they kind of carried him to this plane, and he happened to be in St. Petersburg, and he came to his address, opened the door somehow with his key, but it was the flat of a different girl. And if you're interested, you can watch this movie with English subtitles. So they lived happily ever after, kind of. It is a traditional Russian movie. As far as alcohol is concerned, I forgot one thing. I don't drink, for example, I don't drink vodka at all. I drink only martini, and no one from my family drink alcohol at all. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I remember about the requests to make videos about a Romanov family and about real estate. These are the two topics that I'm really interested in too. We never know what will be tomorrow, especially now, but I do have such plans in the next year, the year to come, and I wish you all to be in good health. It is the most important. Hope to see you next year. Bye.